In this video, we will discuss the problem union of arrays with duplicates. The problem says that we'll be given two arrays, array A and array B, and the task is to find the number of elements in the union of array A and B. So if you will see here, let's say we have been given the array, that is first array is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the second array is 1, 2, 3. Now, which elements will come in the union? In union, all the elements will come and we will not take any duplicates. So if you see here, from the first array we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and from the second array we have 1, 2, 3. So the total number of elements that will come in the union will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 only. So the total element is count is 5, so return 5 here, because the second array B does not have any other element. It has all the elements that are there in the first array also. So 1, 2, 3 will come in the common union. So that is why the final answer will be 5 only, because total number of distinct elements that come in the union are 5 only. Now let's discuss the second test case here. If you see the second test case, we have 85, 25, 1, 32, 54 and 6. After that, we have 85 and 2 in the second array. So you can see here that 85 is common in the first and the second array, and 2 is different here. So how many elements will be there in the union? 85, then this is the first element, then 2, then after that 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So total 7 elements are there, because 85 will not be counted multiple times. So any element that is occurring multiple times, it will not be counted in the union, and I need to consider all the elements but without considering their duplicate occurrences here. Now if you see the third test case here, so we have got 1 2 double 1 2 in the first array, and the second array is double 2 1 2 1. Now what are all the elements in the overall union? In the overall union, you can see that the distinct elements are 1 and 2 only. So that is why the total answer will be 2, because there are only two distinct elements in the union overall. So let's see how we can solve this particular problem here using multiple approaches. So if you will see here, what we can do is we can apply a brute force approach, and for each element of the first array, we can iterate and check whether it is present in the result or not. If it is not present in the result, then we can add it in the result. Okay, and similarly for the second array also, we can iterate and check if it is present in the resultant list or not. If it is not present, then we can add it inside the resultant list. How can we do this? Let's see. Suppose this is my array here. Now when I come across this element 1, so is it present in the result? No. So I'll add 1 in the result. Okay, so basically we have to iterate in the result and check whether that element is present or not. So then next element I'll be at is 4. I'll check, is 4 present in the result by iterating through the result. No, 4 is not present, so I'll add 4 also in my result. Now after that, I'll check the next element of the array A is 5. Is 5 present? No, so add it in the result. Then after this, what I will do is I'll check whether 1 is present or not. So when I'll iterate and check that if 1 is present in the result or not, 1 is already present, so I'll not add it in the result. Then after this, what will happen is we'll iterate for the second array, because the first array is over. So we'll check, is 3 present in the result? When we iterate, we check that 3 is not present. So add it in the result here. Then after that, the next element is 2. So we have to check whether 2 is present in the result or not. If I iterate and check, 2 is not present. So I can add 2 in the result as well. Then after that, we'll check whether 6 is present in the result or not. So when I iterate, I check that 6 is not present. So I'll add 6 in my answer as well. Now after this, the next element that we'll check in the second array is 1. Now we check for 1. Is it present in the second array? Is it present in the resultant array? Yes, it is present. So we'll not add it because 1 is already present. So we will not add it. So that is why the result will look like this. So you can see here how many distinct elements are there in the result. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So total 6 elements are there that are there in the resultant list here. And these 6 elements are the union of both the arrays that were given to us initially, and consider that we are not taking any duplicates here. So this is the approach here. Now if you see here, what will happen, what will be the time complexity for one element of the array A? For one element of the array A, will be iterating order of like n times to check if it is present in the result or not. In general, what will happen for one element, for one ith element of the array A, will check throughout the result whether that element is present or not. So that will take order of n time. So that is why for n elements of the first array, it will take order of n square time complexity. Now after that, what will happen is for one element, for the first element of the second array, will iterate how many times? Will iterate order of n times to check if it is present or not. Suppose it was not present, then we'll add it. Then the size will increase by 1. For the second element of the array B, for the next element, basically for the next element, you can say for the first element, then for the second element of the array B, we'll check whether that element is present or not. So we have to iterate n plus 1 times. Similarly, as we keep on going, for the mth element of the array B, we have to iterate and check whether it is present or not. So we have to iterate n plus m times in that case. So if you see here, we have to take the sum of this particular portion because in the second array, we'll take this much time complexity, that is order of n plus order of n plus 1 up till order of m plus 1. And this is basically going to be what? This is going to be order of n into m plus m square. If you will take the sum of the series, this is how it is going to be like. Because see, for one element of the array A, will be iterating throughout the resultant list. Suppose that the resultant list will consist of n elements in general. So in that case, you have to iterate for n elements and check. So for n elements of the array A, we have to iterate order of n square times to check the element and insert considering the first array. Then after that, for the second array, already assume that already n elements are there in the resultant list. So for the very first element of the array B, we have to iterate order of n times and check. Now, if suppose that the first element of the array B was a unique element, then the size of the resultant array will increase and it will become n plus 1. So when I'll check the second element of the array B, then I have to iterate n plus 1 times. Similarly, when I'll check for the mth element of the array B, so roughly I have to iterate n plus m times. So order of n plus order of n plus 1 plus order of n plus m until the last time. So that is why this will be overall order of n into m plus m square for the second array. So you can see here when I'll take the overall sum, so this will be order of n square for the first array, because I'll for every element of the array A, I'll be checking throughout the result whether it is present or not. So that process will overall take order of n square time. Then after that, for every element of the array B also, I have to iterate in the result and check whether that element is present in the result or not. For that, I'll take n plus n plus n plus 1 up till n plus m. So this will be overall n into m plus m square. So the overall complexity you can say will be n plus m whole square. Okay, so this is the time complexity here. You can see what we will be doing is, we'll be having the resultant list here. Then after this, we'll iterate for all the elements of the array A and we'll check in the resultant list whether that element is present or not. If that element is not present, if the ith element of the array A is not present in the resultant list, then we'll reach the end of the resultant list and we can add the ith element in the resultant list here. Then after this, what we are going to do is, like once we have traversed the first array and for every ith element, we have checked that if it does not exist, in the resultant list, we'll add it in the resultant list. Then after that, we will iterate in the second array as well, and for every element of the second array, we'll check that if it does not exist in the resultant array, then we need to add it in the list here, and at the end, we'll return the final result, which will be consisting of the union of both the arrays without having any duplicates in the result. And if you want to if you want to return the length, then you can return length of result as well. Depends on the depends on the requirement. Now let's see how we can do it more optimally. Obviously, the more optimal approach will be using the concept of hashing or set. You can see that what we can do is we can keep all the elements. We can insert all the elements of the array A and the array B inside a set, and then we can. The unique thing about set is that it will allow only unique elements to be present inside the data structure. So that will help us to store the union properly. So what will happen is when you will insert the first array elements, then only 1, 2, and 3 will be inserted, because the second one is duplicate. This particular one is duplicate, so it will not be inserted. Then after that, when I'll insert the array of the second elements of the second array, so B3 will not get inserted because 3 is already there. 4 will get inserted because 4 is a unique element. 5 will get inserted because 5 is not there. Then 1 will not get inserted because 1 is already there. So you can see that this is how my set will look like. And then from the set, I will store all the elements in the result. So the result will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because these are all the unique elements that are there when I'll do the union of both the array A and the array B here. So you can see that the length is coming out as 5 here. So very simple approach. What you have to do is you have to insert all the elements of the array A and the array B inside the set, and set will make sure that it only stores the unique elements, and then after that you have to transfer all those elements to the result finally. Now this is very optimal, because what you have to do is you have to iterate order of n time here, first of all for storing all the elements of the first array. Then you have to iterate order of m time for storing all the elements of the second array. So this will be order of n plus m. Now after that, the space complexity will be what? The space complexity here will be nothing but order of n plus m as well, because in the worst case all the elements can be unique and we are storing the union, so we might have to store n plus m elements in the result finally. Let's discuss the code for this. If you will see here, what we will do is, first of all, we will declare this particular set here st. Then after that, we'll store all the elements of the first array in the set. Then after that, we'll store all the elements of the second array in the set. And then after that, we have declared a resultant list, and all the elements that are there in the set, will transfer it to our resultant list, and then we'll return the resultant list like we had done like just above, because we have to return the, if we have to return the resultant list, then we'll make it. And if we had to return the size, then we can return the length of the resultant list or the set as well. Now, as I said, this will take n plus m time because we are iterating throughout both the arrays. And in the worst case, if all the elements are unique in both the arrays, there is no nothing in common, then it will take n plus m space as well. Now let's try and submit this code also to check if it is getting accepted or not. So let's submit this code and it should get accepted. So you can clearly see here that my code was able to pass all the test cases. I hope you have understood this problem clearly. Thank you for watching this video.